What's up, guys, and welcome back to another part of the Tales of Berseria playthrough. So in the last part, we ended up making it to this tower where we thought we saw or found Ifried, which it was all just an illusion from Melchior. And we ran into Zavid on the way here as well. Zavid is using that artifact that Ifried found, which we still don't know much about. And um, Melchior ran away while doing something to that artifact. And so we're going to go after them now. Also, we got an expedition. Let's check that. Nothing new. We got a new area we can explore, though. Which we'll go ahead and start exploring that. But yeah, I am back from the, little vacation trip I was on. Went to Orange Beach, Alabama. Was pretty nice. Swimming out in, the waves and everything. They were pretty strong. That's my first time actually experiencing waves. They can be strong, very strong. It was really salty too. I only swam out there only one day, and then the rest of the time it was mainly just the pool or whatever. A lot of my my cousins and stuff, they were getting stung by jellyfishes a lot. I luckily did not, but yeah. And then it looked like we saw fins out the water, a few of those days, which could have been a dolphin, could have been a shark, but it didn't look like anybody was screaming or anything. So I assume it was just probably a dolphin. So we don't have enough cat spirits for this. I'll have to try to come back to it if I remember it. But yeah, it was really fun, really fun. I kind of always go on about I'd rather go to snow. I'm kind of tired of going to a beach or something like that, or hearing about a beach. But this one was fun. Really, the only thing I could say that kind of sucked was on the beach at night, crabs come out and you can go crabbing, catch them, put them in a bucket. This beach really had none. And if they did, they were just baby crabs. There really wasn't anything to it. I mean, it was still kind of fun, but not as fun as whenever I went to Dolphin Island. Dolphin Island, they had lots of them and big ones you can catch. That one was really fun for crabbing.
Damn, you sure got some speedy legs for an old fart.
I'm glad to see you're okay, Zavid.
It's not me that I'm worried about.
Melchior was highly interested in your weapon. And yet he didn't steal it. Surely a legate like him could snatch it if he wanted to.
Why bother stealing it when you can just copy its hidden formula? Some arts can decipher the workings of other arts in a split second. And guess what Melchior's specialty is?
As he left, he said, "My work here is done."
The Abbey must have some use for that unknown art. Who knows what? After all, they brought it here from another continent.
And we'll find out what they're after and crush it to dust.
Let me ask you just one question. Why do you have Siegfried?
I'm counting on you, he said. Back when I served the Exorcists, they sent me on a mission to capture Ifried.
Zavid, you were once their slave?
Yeah, my mind was under the influence of Inominat's domain. But when Ifried aimed this baby at me, one shot was all it took to open my eyes. The fight we had after that was one for the books. He might have been a human, but that guy was a beast. Put a song in my soul. But then Melchior had to jump in and spirit Ifried away with one of his damned illusions. That old bastard! Playing tricks with people's minds.
But why'd he grab Ifried and not Siegfried when he had the chance?
He probably didn't know at the time that this guy was the real prize he was after. But Ifried knew. Right before he was taken, he distracted Melchior long enough to hand Siegfried over to me. Well, That's all I know. Whether you believe me or not is up to you.
Got it. We're done here.
Huh? That was
It'd be
easy.
cool if we could actually see that interaction in like a flashback.
Ifrit only
or
says
something,
I'm
you know?
counting on you to people he trusts.
Is that so?
So, what are you gonna do now?
Gotta keep looking for Ifrit. Still gotta give this back and settle our score.
I doubt you have much time left to get that done.
I'd hazard a guess that until now, Melchior was unaware what Siegfried could really do. In other words, he and the exorcists weren't able to interrogate anything out of their captive.
And now that Ifrid's no longer needed, I see no reason for them to keep him alive.
You think I don't know that?
If you really want to save Ifrid, you probably ought to team up with us.
Nope. No can do.
Why not?
You lot will do anything to achieve your goals. Even kill. Sorry, I'm a fighter, not a killer. I won't steal a single life. That's just my creed.
And I've got
Gotta
no
respect him.
intention of changing our pirate creed either.
Eisen and Zavid have their own creeds. They both have such strong principles, even though they're so different.
Just like humans.
Well, that was sure something. Melchior and his illusions are cheats.
There's no cheating in combat.
What I meant is that they were awfully dirty tricks for an upstanding exorcist.
And the illusion seemed so real. Had that gone on any longer, I wouldn't have been able to tell what was real and what was fake.
If it can't be distinguished from reality, perhaps one could live a happier life within the illusion.
That sort of happiness can rot.
You think so?
But by using illusions, you can defeat an opponent without causing them any physical harm.
Oh, how humane. Wow, the Abbey is so great.
Lord Melchior is an exemplary man who has served Lord Artorias since before the Abbey's founding. He's done everything from logistical planning to defense strategy and even political negotiations. He shows the utmost concern, even for his opponents, so
He turned a friendly Moloch into a dragon.
that was...
Physical wounds can heal. Emotional wounds never fully fade.
yeah, but...
Don't lose heart, Eleanor. Foul play is foul play, but you're talking to a demon and a witch. Who can judge?
I appreciate that you're trying to console me, but as an exorcist, I cannot accept this.
So yeah, we now kind of can get an idea of what that weapon does. I mean, the fact that it was able to, you know, get Zavid out of that, you know, basically a slave contract from an exorcist says a lot. And it looked like it was able to destroy his illusions too as well. But yeah, you gotta respect Zavid. And, you know, wanting to be a fighter, not a killer. You know, going about his own little creed and stuff. Wanting to help other Molochs as well, which I'm sure Eisen and them want to, you know, help other Molochs just like them. But they would go about it completely different than Zavid would. So, gotta give him credit for that. But yeah, and then also on that trip, I read a little bit, catching up on some books. One of them being the light novel for I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I finished that. It was really good as well. I think everything is just about the same, even if you read the manga. The only difference is that you get way more inner monologues from the main character. And I think you get to read a little bit more of the girl's diary at the end. I think the light novel has more details of the diary compared to the manga and I think the movie as well. But it was really good. A really good read. The only thing that sucked was having to go through the heartache a third time. Since, I mean, I've read the manga, I've watched the movie, and then now I've read the light novel. So. Not sure what other light novel I'm gonna start reading next. Don't know. Manga-wise, I'm going back to read Seraph of the End. So maybe I'll check out the Seraph of the End light novel, since I know that mainly focuses on Gurren and the stuff that led up to the apocalypse. So I might check that out. I know they got a manga version of Gurren, but I don't know if that's the same thing as the light novel, or if it's like after the light novel. So I don't know if it's like a prequel within a prequel, you know. I'll just have to end up seeing once I ever, you know, get to those. Alright, so we can open this now. Nothing. Yeah, sorry I kind of wasted a little time with that. I wanted to at least be able to get that, because I would legitimately forget about it. And I wouldn't be surprised if I forgot about it in my main save file. But I did check the trophies for this game, and I think we're only 4 trophies off from, you know, beating the story mode. It looks like it. Because I think our next trophy for story we're going to get is going to be whenever we get to Yassault, which is where, you know, we need to meet Magilu's friend. Okay, I didn't know which save file really, but then I realized that level 14 one was back at the that capital, whenever we saw that demon that was being imprisoned. So I think what now? Return to Von Eltia? Yeah, okay. So now we should be heading to Yassault fully. So we gotta go, I think, what, all the way down there? Because that used to be the Seagate Fort. That leads to the Seagate Fortress, which is where, you know, we were before. I don't know if this leads anywhere we need to go. Like a shortcut or anything. I don't think it does. We'll probably end up having to come through here anyway later, so hopefully we do. If we don't, hopefully I'll just remember about it. So considering we gotta walk through a bunch of stuff, I might end up cutting this part out. I'm not sure.
I thought I smelled
Never
someone
mind.
pondering. What's on your mind, Laphicet?
I know Siegfried comes from another continent and all, but do you know anything else about it, Ropero?
Nope, can't say I do. All I care about are swords. That contraption doesn't interest me much.
I suppose that makes sense. But it looked real powerful.
Just guessing based on how we saw Zavid use it, I'd say it amplifies his power somehow.
An amplifier. It's true that he seemed to get stronger when he fired it at himself.
Yeah, and it gave that dying legendary wyvern enough strength to escape.
But wasn't it also what he used to dispel Melchior's illusions back there?
That was also amplification. The Malakim are the source of his arts. The relic pushed them past their limits, and kablooey.
Suffice it to say, it can be used both offensively and defensively. It must be very hard to master.
More important is what the Abbey plans to do with it. Not that I really care.
Well, if you can amplify and stuff, obviously there's a lot.
Laphicet? May I ask you something?
What is it?
The girl with the umbrella from Lord Melchior's illusion. What is her connection to Eisen? I don't think he'd answer if I asked him myself.
I don't know. I was wondering about her as well. She was pretty, wasn't she?
Oh, so you like a girl who's cute, but with a bit of sophistication.
Really? I thought his type was more like
Shh.
What's going on?
We were discussing a delicate topic. Laphicet's first crush, if you must know.
Oh,
No, we weren't. We were just
Just
talking
that,
about
oh.
the umbrella girl from the illusion.
the Umbrella Girl. That illusion made Aizen hesitate. She must be really important to him.
Indeed. It must be a deep, naughty relationship.
Come on now.
Like a wife he wants to leave, but he can never let go. Or a lover from whom he can't move on.
No, that's too wild, and she's too young.
Yeah, it's not that. What's more likely for a self-serving pirate is a daughter from a woman who only knows him by a fake name, perhaps one whom he cast aside, or who cast him aside!
And maybe she was somebody he couldn't marry for some reason. But when she died, he raised her daughter for her.
He had been friends with her since they were children, but they only realized their true feelings after they had been married to someone else.
Was this their idea of romance? In any case, beware of girls, Luffy said.
Right.
Yep. But you'll learn, you know, what that illusion was a little later in this game. You will fully know about it in, like, another Tales game, though. Since they are, you know, this Berseria connects with another game in terms of the timeline. Grab some souls, get those back up. Since we're broke. I think that was the first chest so far in the entire game that I didn't actually have enough for. Mainly. So now we're pretty much fully done with, you know, everything that is here. Besides, yeah, we can't go to Warg Forest anymore. I think that's because the Exorcists are there now. But pretty much everything is done besides, you know, near that sea gate, that little other dungeon area. Like I said, I don't know if we go back there, like if we have to go back there, like for story progression, but hopefully. So other than the book progress that I was working on, I think that's pretty much it. Besides the book progress I did over the vacation itself. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's happened since like the week, in that week time frame. Very fun, but like I said before, I want to go somewhere with snow. I really want to do something in the snow, you know, snowboarding, skiing, you know, something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Gonna be way more expensive because you gotta travel more, but that would actually be really, really fun. Haven't been keeping up with the animes lately either. Like, it's been such a long while since I've actually like watched anime.
Now what are we gonna do? What's wrong?
This dog came up with a book in its mouth. Here, take a look.
Huh. It looks pretty old. I've never seen this kind of writing before.
It's not ancient Avarost, that's for sure. Part of it looks like a chronology, so maybe it's a history book?
If I were to guess, I'd say they're Meliodasian characters, which would peg it at about 2,000 years old. It's more recent than Avarost, but the writing has fallen completely out of use.
All kinds of notes are written throughout the book, too. Someone must have been studying it.
If it's research material,
That might make it Videl's book. Videl? Who's that? He's a weird kid who's way into studying history. He lives at the inn.
Could you maybe deliver the book to him for us? We were told not to get too close to him, so...
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Okay. I think this is technically our very first side quest type of thing we can do. I think. So, kind of neat. So we got that from defeating the Frenzied Wolf. What else do we got? Okay, so that's it for now.
My book!
Let's see who this
My
Videl
book!
is.
Where could I have left it?
Are you Videl? Is this yours?
My book! Oh, that book is super important to me. Thank you.
I'm Laphicet. I hope you don't mind that we flipped through some of it. Can you actually read Meliodacian script?
You recognize Meliodacian writing? That's unusual in this day and age.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal, really.
When I grow up, I want to be an adventurer who travels the world and explores lots of ruins. So to make sure I'm ready for anything, I've been studying ancient history, starting with the Era of Darkness.
The Era of Darkness? You're referring to the Dark Period, right?
Right. Almost no written records from the age have survived. But if you compare the history before and after, you can tell something major must have happened.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I know!
Look at those two, all worked up over an old book.
My little brother was just like that too. Laffy and our brother used to.
We've received
Almost
reports
a
of
little
suspicious
too
persons
much.
in the area. Have you seen anything? Not good. They're onto us.
Quickly, hide in my house.
Videl, have you seen anyone suspicious recently?
Sorry, sir. I've been absorbed in my book.
That's all right, thanks. Look, I know it must be tough living alone with your mom. Just remember, your father's a praetor. He's out there fighting to protect us all. Keep your chin up for his sake at least, all right?
Uh-huh.
A praetor, which I think it's like Eleanor in them. I think, if I remember right. Or I think that's a
Thanks
legate.
for your help, Videl.
Videl, your father is an exorcist? Yeah, he is. But don't worry, I won't say anything about you and your friends. I'm your friend too.
Really?
And to prove it, I'll let everyone in on a big secret. This book tells you how to make an Omega Elixir, an incredibly ancient and powerful medicine. If I'm reading it right, you need 5 ingredients in order to create the elixir. I've only translated one of them so far, but I'll tell you what it is.
That's really nice of you, Videl. But I don't have any way to repay you for this.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. I'd just like it if you came and talked with me again sometime.
Of course. What are friends for?
So that's something to keep in mind. A really cool
The
introduction
Omega
to basically a
Elixir.
side quest.
That's an ancient medicine said to be able to cure any disease. But it was my understanding that no samples or recipes survived the Era of Darkness.
Meliodacian script was used prior to the Era of Darkness, so I guess it's possible that Videl's recipe might be legit.
He's just a kid. I don't know how much we can trust his translation.
You saw his notes. I doubt many adults could even get anything out of that book. You might be onto something.
Kids are more capable than we give them credit for, especially where their interests lie.
I think we can trust Videl.
Laffy used to read books intently like that too.
Furthermore, couldn't a hypothetical Omega Elixir be quite useful to you, Velvet?
Laphicet, you look like you really want to track down those ingredients.
Yeah, I do.
Personally, I don't really care. But if you want to look for them, I won't stop you.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the Omega Elixir, recipe book, which I also want to check. I'm not sure where they would mention it. Yeah, I'm not sure where they would mention it under legates or anything. But yeah, I think this Praetor is like under a legate, basically, or something like that, way below. Let's see though, the Omega Lizard, a recipe book, a mineral called Long Dow's Dust. Records show it was once excavated in the Vester tunnels. And see, we got some other stuff over there too. So, Vester tunnels. Yeah, I think that's the tunnel that I looked at earlier. So I don't know if we're there yet, but keep that in mind. We'll probably run into it anyway eventually. I don't remember if I ever finished that quest or not. I probably honestly forgot about it since, I mean, unless I picked up the item and came back to this location and saw the quest marker again, I probably forgot. So many exorcism people now.
This big storm came and swept me out to a Class 4 island. And let me tell you, it's as bad as the rumors make it sound.
The islands
I wanted
now,
to just wait it out in a shipyard somewhere, but then the water turned all gooey. Then I had these jellyfish things coming onto the deck, and before I knew it, slugs were swimming around in the damn ocean.
Wouldn't the salt in seawater mess up a slug?
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but these weren't no sea slugs neither. It was scary. I'll tell you that much. You want my advice? Stay the hell away from that island altogether. But if you do go, watch out for that gooey stuff.
What did that pirate mean by Class 4? I've never heard of that.
It's a classification the Abbey uses to help inform their strategy, an estimation of how well they've been able to manage the demon outbreak in an area. Administrative Zone Classes 1 through 3 have been assigned a suitable contingent of exorcists to guarantee the population's safety.
So, Class 4 administrative zones are ones that are still unsafe?
In a perfect world, the entire kingdom would be protected, but there's just not enough manpower to go around. The Abbey doesn't send exorcists to remote areas and far-off islands. Instead, they avoid casualties by making those areas off-limits.
But that pirate mentioned he'd come close to an island. Are those policies actually enforced?
They send out an official notice to stay away, and that's all. It's not like they could blockade every tiny remote island out there. So you're free to dive into the deep end if you want, but no one will come to your rescue. Hope you know how to swim.
If they could keep the demons in check, they wouldn't have to tell people to stay clear. Frankly, I think the Abbey just doesn't want to go near places like that.
In other words, these are dangerous places that the Abbey has washed their hands of.
Makes you wonder how much they can administrate these places when they're not willing to get their hands dirty.
Are there many Class 4 administrative zones?
I've heard of 10 such regions in my time working as an inspector for the Abbey, but I'm afraid I couldn't tell you their exact locations or their current status.
If the Abbey abandoned this island,
at least 10.
it's probably safe to assume that it's getting to be pretty dangerous.
If we go there, we're gonna want to be prepared.
We now go to Class 4 Administrative Zone, so that's cool. It's basically an island where you just literally fight enemies. That's it. It's kind of funny because the developers restrict anybody from recording gameplay of this game, which is why you have to use a capture card, because you can't use the PlayStation's recording itself. But whenever you go to those Class 4 administrative zones, they actually make it to where you can record it with the PlayStation's recording. So that's kind of like the only videos, like back in the day, like anybody who didn't have a capture card, that's really the only videos you would see from them, because that's the only unblocked content you
Demons!
get.
There's more of them. A whole band of them rampaging through Roaring Forest.
There was already one dangerous demon in those woods, and now we have more, and they're still on the loose. A lot of exorcists have come to deal with them, but...
What do these demons look like?
That's what I want to know. Those Abbey people won't tell us nothing. Every time a demon comes around, it's all, show us your cargo this, and don't leave port for a while that. How are we supposed to catch any fish?
These demons really are a pain in the neck. If I was an exorcist, I'd lay down some justice, I tell ya. At the end of the day, it's not the demons or the exorcists that have it rough. It's us normal folk.
Anyway, you guys should be careful. There are demons about.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, we got an expedition. Mystery
This
meat and
recipe looks real
breadcrumbs.
tasty.
New recipe. Dwarven Salisbury surprise.
Scout.
But yeah, when you think about it, I mean, like, besides Velvet and them doing whatever they need to, you know, reach the goal of, you know, Artorias, they'll do anything. And their existence, like just the Abbey finding out that they're in the area, creates so much chaos and problems for these regular people, because they can't leave, they gotta have their cargo inspected every time and everything. It's just a lot of chaos.
Mate! You're all right!
Sorry to worry you.
And the captain?
It turned out to be a fake. But now I know the real one's still alive somewhere.
Well, of course he is.
Not that he has a lot of time left.
What do you mean?
Calm down. I'll explain later.
Eisen... You stay calm too, okay?
And you've all taken your Salatoma?
Yes, sir.
And nobody died?
All still kicking.
Compared to your curse, sir, this sickness was tiny potatoes.
All right. Then let's get ready to sail out.
Already done, sir. We're ready whenever.
The Pirate's Creed, huh?
There's worse out there.
Oh, that's cool. You can get to see Dial and, what, Kuragane, I think that is, too? The armor guy. You see them fishing. Okay, so we actually do get the little side quest pop up right here as well. That's where the Vester tunnels are. So we've been there. Okay. I think that was... Yeah, that's where we came out whenever we fought Shigure. Okay. So let's get ready to set sail. We can go to a class 4 zone, so we're going to go check that out. Our first class 4. And this is what we get. You can see right there at the top, my gameplay recording resumed. That's because since I'm in this area, you know, I can actually record it with my PlayStation instead of a capture card. I don't think there's any kind of items or spear. No, there's a cat box right there. Probably every island has a cat box. Let's see. Almost have enough. I don't remember if there's really any point to do these islands other than just kind of completing them and probably getting like some additional dialogue throughout the course of the islands. But you can kind of see, I think these statues basically show you what kind of enemies you'll fight. So it's like these kind of slime thingies that we saw before.
Is that a fighting arena of some sort? I don't see any demons around.
Look! There's something spewing out of the middle!
I sense a really malicious force emanating from it.
It's probably the vengeful spirits of those who fought and died here looking for glory!
Thanks for that. Now I've got goosebumps.
Let's try not to wind up as more vengeful spirits.
So let's see what happens. Here you can battle waves of specific types of demon. Select 7 demons to call demons to the arena and commence battle. After a certain amount of demons have been defeated, more will appear. The battle is over when all demons have been completely wiped out. If you are defeated in battle, you will return to your original pre-battle status. Make sure to prepare yourself thoroughly before stepping up. The first time you clear the challenge, you will receive a reward, so give it your all. So this is the first time, so I guess after that you don't get anything.
I'm extra good at beating
Or
up
it
the
might
weak
just be
ones.
like those gray sites or whatever, Ventai. I can
You won't get away!
So there's the first wave.
You won't get away! You won't get away!
Next wave. Pretty easy, but again, this is really the very first one I get
You won't get away!
Here it comes!
You won't get away!
next one.
You won't get away! You won't get away!
Spirit release! You wronged me! Here's your justice! Fighting order!
At some point, I might need to try to get them to stop doing that. That way I can have them do it actually during like boss battles. Kind of wasting them. And for AIs, it probably takes them a bit more to, build those up. This is probably also pretty good for like XP and stuff. If you super XP and probably get items if you need money and whatnot, maybe.
You won't get away!
There we go, done.
Just how does this sword work?
Don't touch it.
No XP,
You'll hurt
which kinda
yourself.
sucks.
In other words, the rest of her is fair game.
Not unless you really want to
So
get
right
hurt.
there, bunch of items. We got at least a new one. 2 new ones. So yeah, a bunch of items, all demons defeated. You get a Ventite. So I think the reward it's talking about is like these items right here. And then other than that, you just get, you know, your grade, and then you get those other items. So it allows you to perform different arts by pressing attack while guarding.
Looks like we won't be joining the party.
I can see why this place is the stuff of cautionary bedtime stories.
Not to mention why the Abbey's keeping way the hell away.
We shouldn't let our guard down. But this place could still be a good chance to hone our combat skills.
Indeed. Most everything we fought here seems to follow a pattern. This is a good place for tactical training.
If we ever end up on another island like this one, we should probably come prepared for the kinds of enemies we'll face.
And also, while I'm thinking about it, I want to go ahead and change some of the titles for characters. I don't know. I'm not even sure. How do I tell it's level 2 or not? I guess I don't know. I don't know how to tell if it's level 2 or not. Guess I'll probably put that on. Maybe I'll put that on. I never really did anything with these titles, so that's why I'm kind of quiet. I'm kind of reading these. Okay, so we mastered that. Let's go ahead and put that on. Still haven't even got new daggers for him. Alright. So all that is situated. Now let's go to Yasult. We're kind of getting close on time, so we'll do a little as we can in Yasult.
It It's too bad that wasn't the real Ifreed. But I'm glad everyone on the ship is feeling better.
Yeah. Though it sounds like they never want to touch that Salatoma stuff ever again.
What about Eleanor?
She took it too, and her face went all wow.
I don't mean how she looked. I mean how she actually feels.
Oh, well, she looks like she feels better too.
Good.
You're worried about her, aren't you, Velvet?
No, it's nothing like that.
Let me tell you something, kiddo. When young maidens ripen, they have trouble expressing their feelings.
So Velvet's ripen?
Mogilu! Quit giving Loppies confusing thoughts.
No trouble expressing those feelings, I see. The Abbey is supposed to exist to bring peace and order to the world. Everything the Abbey does, everything Lord Melchior and Shepherd Artorius do, it ought to be rooted in that mission. And yet, something just doesn't feel right here.
You are dismissed. That knowledge is not for you.
Something wrong? Whoa! Easy there. Just asking.
Sorry. I was just deep in thought. Is there something you need from me?
Nah. Just heard a bunch of sighs and wondered if you were feeling sick or anything.
No, I drank my Salatoma juice.
Ah. Tasted like crap, didn't it?
It wasn't that bad.
Hey,
What?
are you afraid of demons?
No, I am not. It's more
Pretty
like
sure
I
anybody would.
despise them.
To an extent. But
10
once you
years
get like in
ago,
her position,
a group
higher
of
ups
them
and stuff,
attacked
you
my
get used
village.
to it.
They destroyed everything. And everyone.
Including your family?
Yes. The only family I had at that point was my mother. And in all the chaos, she... All I have left of her is this hand mirror she gave me. I didn't want anyone else to have to feel the way I did. And so I became an exorcist in order to destroy demons. So you can keep your pity.
Gotcha. I will then.
Finally here, where we will start learning the actual truths.
What is that?
That's called a penguin, a type of bird native to this area.
Penguin.
Penguin.
We
Their
got
meat is succulent
penguin,
and tender.
and we got
It makes a
titles.
lovely stew.
Wow, what's it taste like?
You'd eat that poor thing? Savage.
You're one to talk, demon. It was one of my mother's specialties.
All right, enough of the chit-chat. Mogilu, what's this grimoire friend of yours like?
Well, how do I put it? Oh. You know, like that.
Like what?
Like what?
Well, to put it in a way those of meager imagination can understand, Grimm's got a sort of listless, aristocratic air about her. A noble woman in her twilight, you could say.
Huh. So you mean like a woman, but different from Velvet and Eleanor.
You're not wrong there. Tell you what, just keep an eye out for a grown woman.
Grown woman. Okay, I got it.
Well, since we got her name, We could start by asking around.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What's up, kiddo?
Magilu, you're a grown woman yourself. So why is it you have trouble clearly expressing your real feelings?
Good question. Put simply, a long time ago, mine broke. Bagow! Chapoom! Bye-bye!
Your feelings broke?
Come on. Let's question the townsfolk.
Alright, so since we don't have much time, I think I'll go ahead and end that one there. So, whenever we come back, we'll end up asking around and finding out who she is. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.